today, and now you feel fat today also. You're welcome. And now there's a podcast.
Welcome to I'm a Juicy J.
Welcome to I Feel Fat Today. Thank you so
Ooh.
much for joining in.
This is the bedroom episode.
It's not. This audio is probably going to sound like but I'm recording this intro because we finally have an episode out after 2 weeks. And not much to talk about aside from the fact that snack wraps are back at McDonald's. It's a full moon in Capricorn. And my chat with my guest this week was awesome. You might be able to hear Finny hacking in the background. That was really good timing. So I hope you really enjoyed today's episode. It was a lovely conversation with comedian Danette Rodriguez.
What's happening? Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
I love your rings. I'm just noticing your snake ring is to die for.
Thank you.
I love that.
It's supposed to represent transformation.
Ooh, do snakes represent transformation?
Yeah.
Because they shed their skin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you know the Waking Up app?
Yeah.
So I get I guess I used to have it. I don't have it anymore, but I get emails still of daily quotes.
Okay.
And the quote today was something like, it was about snakes shedding skin. So that's crazy.
Yeah. And it's supposed to also represent healing. Actually the symbol for medicine. I don't know if you've noticed the staff. It's like a snake.
Yep.
But in some cultures, it's also seen as bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on your culture. If you
Taylor
see this
Swift Reputation album.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
What about in your culture?
I'm Puerto Rican, so I don't really know. I know my mom's scared of snakes.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why I like them more.
I love it.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, she's scared of it? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Did you, where'd you grow up?
So I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then I did a small stint in the Bronx. But I also lived in Puerto Rico with my grandmother for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So Spanish is my first language, and then English is my second.
Amazing.
And then I communicate best with emojis.
Yes, I know sometimes when I don't have the words, I'm just especially if I'm having a particularly chaotic day, I literally only respond in emojis or send texts out in emojis.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes I do think that I use too many emojis, and I'm I should use my words.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's the easier it is to communicate without having to use words, I really feel myself losing the ability to put together a sentence. It's and then I have to make a point to do it. You know, I was with some people recently, and we were trying to think of the name of a song, and my friend opposite me goes, we need to remember what the song is. It's good for your brain when you forget what you were about to say to remember it.
Oh, okay.
And then I thought, wait, has that been happening to me a lot more now? Is my memory declining because I'm using less words?
Do you know that there's a study out? I don't know by which researcher, but they're saying that we're losing our memory. If we don't, if we're not careful, there is a decline. And I don't know if you noticed, but dementia is up and Alzheimer's. And I find that all suspicious. But yeah, I think reading, writing, doing stuff with your hands, anything that will retain the old school ways of doing things, because everything's going online now.
Even talk to text. I find myself devolving. Do you do it too? I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
No, I started to, and I did get instantly worried.
Yeah.
I got instantly worried. I was like, oh, this is too easy. I don't know. It's weird. What I've been getting into recently is not using ChatGPT as much. Because I noticed I was having an issue with somebody I was dating, and I went to copy and paste a text onto chat to let me know what they thought, and I was like, what am I doing? This is not good.
Yeah, like
Like-
not only like it's like your reasoning is lacking. Your going to your social circle is gonna start suffering because all of a sudden you have a robot that will communicate for you.
Yeah.
I know, but it's so easy just to go to chat.
I know. We are in such a crazy, exciting time, I think.
know.
It's very exciting because there's like there's like new ways of doing things, but also like it's also sad because we're losing tradition and like how to be like our old normal ways of socializing is changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in a very precarious type of place.
Yeah, and I agree. And what you said about traditions changing and just like where we are being changing, I noticed that I have a lot of friends that like, yes, family is very important to them, but a lot of my friends are like really leaning into the chosen family
Oh, okay.
route of just like, these are my friends, these are my people, these who I'd rather spend Thanksgiving with, you know, that kind of thing.
That's so funny because yesterday I had a little bit of a breakdown because I was sad that I didn't have the relationship that I wanted with my family. And then I called my friend and she gave it to me straight. And she's like, you have to just accept it. Like, this is what it is. Because I keep trying. Like, I'm like, oh, what about this angle? What about that angle? And then I was telling her how like sometimes I'll go onto Instagram or like the movies, like there's family and everybody's like happy and in love and like supportive. And she was reminding me that there's also movies that show people have breakdowns during Thanksgivings and there's like fighting during Christmases and that it's very popular not to get along with your family. And so if I see something on Instagram of like families and friends like hanging out and having a good time, it's just like it's a snapshot.
Yep.
They could have quickly gone into a fist fight right after. So I started to accept that reality, like, oh yeah, like it's okay to like have your friends be your chosen family.
Yeah. Do you have siblings?
I have 4 siblings. I've had 3 stepfathers. So my one brother is half Asian, half Malaysian, half Puerto Rican, and then the other 3 are Irish. So I grew up in those 3 cultures because I'm full Puerto Rican. And there was just a lot of turmoil, and you know everybody's good. Like they all have good hearts, but there's a lot of like bad like dysfunction and like stuff that didn't make sense that. Like if you don't process it, like life keeps happening. And so now you're like a 20-something-year-old with like issues from like when you were 8. And, so yeah, I go to therapy. My siblings don't believe in it. And I'm like, this relationship would be so much easier if you just went to therapy.
It's very difficult to be in a relationship or to have a relationship with somebody that you know, like a sibling or someone that you're kind of like, I guess, innately close to, like, you know, like a sibling that you might not end up being close with down the line, but it's hard to have even a friendship with somebody that needs therapy, but they're not in therapy, but you yourself are in therapy. Mm-hmm. I found that I've struggled maintaining some relationships because it's like, well, I'm doing what I need to do to get better or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to because it's hard to like have a conversation with someone that might be going through something or like trying to problem solve and they're coming at it from a really emotionally immature place.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person that's like therapizing this person. I'm not the trained professional.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, it becomes hard.
That's a good boundary. I think I inadvertently be like, yeah, I think that in the past I've given unsolicited advice.
Same.
Because I want to help and I can see like, oh, you just need to, yeah. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have 2 brothers. I have an older brother and a younger brother. And we, the older one has been in therapy for a while. And my younger one isn't in therapy, but I don't feel as if, I think it'd be great if he did, but like, that hasn't come up as an issue of just like, you know, I have always kind of felt more of like a authoritative, like motherly kind of relationship towards my younger brother just because he's 6 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But So I feel like I do kind of can take on that role, and I have to do kind of like my own self-assessments of like, I don't need to like be evangelical about like people's healing.
Yeah. Yeah,
though
I
I
mean,
love
it's
healing.
not. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always trying with my family, just because I want to see them succeed and I want to see them happy. So I'm always trying, even though I've gotten better. So like whenever I visit my family, I'll just let them do their thing and I'll just smile. One, I think this past Christmas I went and I had a shirt that said "Be kind" and I put it underneath my sweater, and it was kind of a reminder to myself to shut the fuck up and like and just like listen and just like stay kind. And it was interesting because like halfway into my visit, my mom's like, "You were so nice." And that was such a compliment to me because she never compliments me. So I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
And and I was like, oh, that's so funny. Like I was intentionally like, not nice. She said, "You're so kind." I was purposely trying to just let people be who they are. Yeah. But I do have an inclination to like want to like fix and like
Same.
help. Yeah.
Because it makes me more comfortable.
Yeah. I think, I mean, obviously, yeah, it makes us more comfortable, but also, like, like it's less sad or it's like we could be having a party. Like, this conversation could be like so much more elevated if it wasn't for you talking about the same issues over and over again.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of where you can maybe get to a place of like not being on the same level with people that aren't doing work.
Yeah. Like as I'm getting older, I'm starting to really understand the importance of who you keep around you, because I like to be around all different types of people, and I realize that that's cool for like half a day or a day, but to keep them in your life for like long periods of time is not healthy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's growing up and evolving, is having the people around you change when they don't align.
Yeah, which is like hard because sometimes like you have a really good friend, but they're always like drinking, or they're always like talking about how men do them wrong, and it's like, okay, this conversation's getting bored. Like, you know, like this storyline is run its course.
Totally, absolutely. So, you know, it sounds like you yourself, you know, are wearing a ring that's a snake, and snakes can represent healing. So healing is something that you've participated in and done over the years. We don't need to talk a ton about, you know, childhood, but I am curious as to the 3 stepdads.
Oh, okay.
So have they been like, was it like from when I was a kid, this was this stepdad, and then he was out, and then it was the next stepdad? Like, did you keep relationships with these guys?
I have a joke. It's like I had an Asian stepfather for 5 years. I had an Irish stepfather for 10 years. And I've been seeing a therapist for 15.
No, literally. Yeah. Because it's completely different cultures.
Yeah. To my credit, my mom believes in love. Like love is love. Like there's no. As soon as after she broke up with my Irish stepfather after many years, she started to date a black doctor, and I just thought that was such a shift in culture.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like she goes from like, you know, being in an Irish like family to like now she's in a black family, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this totally makes sense.
Yeah, your mom can just go with the flow. she's amenable to any cultural situation. I mean, she's Puerto Rican, of course she's cool as shit.
she blends.
Yeah.
She blends. I think there was a period where there was no like men in the house, but she was always dating, which was gross. So gross. Yeah, like I forgot about how gross that feels as when you're a kid to see your parents date someone new. It's like, ew.
It's like, this feels unnatural.
Yeah. Are your parents together?
My parents are together.
God bless.
Yeah, I know. That is a gift. It is.
Yeah. So, I mean, my mom's always like, she doesn't like to commit, or she attempts to commit. I don't know where her issue is. She attempts to commit. It doesn't work out. So there's a new man in the house. And I think that's probably why I have a hard time committing to a person. Like I'm really trying my best out here. Like like, you know, you said your parents are together, so I'll probably be like, oh, tell me about your parents. You're in a relationship, so I'm like, oh, like, tell me, like, because I want to learn about, like, what keeps people together and, like, what the
Right.
commitment is. But what I learned from my mom was just, like, if you're not happy, just keep it moving. And I don't know if that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's good or not.
I think there's pros and cons to both. Like, speaking for myself, being in a longer term, I mean, it'll be 4 years in August. That's pretty long. There have been times where I've thought, like, are we going to work through this? Like, are we going to get through this? And right now I'm in a patch in my relationship where I'm like, I feel like we've come out on the other side of, like, disagreements or a difficult time. And, like, we've been able to work through difficulties that we've had. Having said that, it takes two to tango. So if I'm the only one that's concerned about, like, making an aspect of our relationship better because it's untenable for me, I need him to co-sign that and be willing to, like, confront, like, hold a mirror up to him and say, like, these are your actions that aren't working for me. And in turn, that creates a vice versa effect where I have to see the way my actions are unfair to him.
Right.
And then we work through it and get through it. You don't always get through it, but you don't even have a shot if the other person's not willing to do it. And, you know, I think that when it comes to, like, what you said about, you know, your mom having this mentality of cutting and run, it opens her up to this other world of possibilities of, like, new people she can meet, new cultures she can immerse herself in.
Literally, yeah.
So I found that your body knows when it's time to leave, when something's not working for you. Like, I will literally get back pain if I'm in a relationship that isn't working for me. And not everybody likes to hear that. They think that that sounds not real. But I've had trauma is stored in our body.
Yeah.
And I've learned that that's not all the body is good for, is storing trauma. It can also tell us what the hell is up.
Yeah.
So I listen.
Yeah, that's
when
awesome.
it's off. Do you feel like you're, do you have that kind of, like, are you in tune that way with your body, or?
Sometimes it depends on how much drinking I've been doing.
Interesting, yeah.
So it was 4th of July weekend recently, and, like, I did a lot of drinking. I wasn't expecting to, but, you know, it was a party, so I partied. So I noticed that it takes me more effort to listen to, like, to hear my intuition and to, like, listen to my body. But I think the answer is yes, but it's not. It doesn't. There are days where it comes really naturally, where it's like my thighs are like, we need something less tight, or or you know, stretch out your legs, girl. Like, it'll talk to me, but I have to tune in. I like what you said, because I was in a relationship with someone and I was having heart palpitations. And I knew it was from the relationship because it was causing me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, oh, that's my heart telling me to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it took me a while before I got out, but yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe that's why everybody's so sick, because we're all in relationships we're not supposed to be.
No, it's true. A lot of people complain about back pain.
Yeah.
So that could be, yeah.
You know, I think there are physical things that can happen. People slip discs, people fall, you know, things happen.
Right.
Wear and tear on your back. For me, I feel like I've been lucky enough where, like, my back pain has been directly linked to an external thing. And when I've removed the external thing, or if I've worked through the external thing, it's like magic. It's like taking ibuprofen or something.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is that, like, if you get pain in your body, you'll be like, oh, my wrist is hurting. But then you kind of get used to the pain and it, like, numbs itself out.
Yeah.
And something will happen where you'll remember that your wrist is hurting and that you have to take care of it. But because sometimes I'll see people walking and they're limping or they just look jacked up, and I was like, I'm not judging them, but I am curious as to, like, how did you get to that place? And recently I'm like, oh, this is how people get to that place, when their body is in pain and they're just like, it'll go away. Like, you know, and then you kind of just ignore it, and then it's like months later and your wrist is still hurting.
Right. And part of that, it could be just being in the rat race of life. People
Yeah.
got rent, totally. So it's just like, I am trying to survive, so I'm gonna ignore this pain. And so I also
There's a lot of reasons. Yeah.
there's a ton of reasons, but some of it can be tied to when we first learned about dieting. So
Yes,
I'd love to
nice.
ask you, when was the first time, do you have a memory of when you were first introduced to the concept of dieting?
Yes. My mom, my stepfather, my Asian stepfather, he would he would tease my mom, and he would be like, "Oh, you're getting fat," or he would just tease her, and like she would get self-conscious. And I remember her like holding her stomach in during like family pictures, and then also on TV there was a lot of images of like really skinny women with
Yeah.
blonde hair, big boobs, little waist. There was never any kind of representation of big women, and if there was, she was considered fat. So dieting was definitely in the conversation of like we need to look like that because that's more valuable.
Right. Yeah. And, it's so funny because I feel like we say, people come on the show and just the sentiment online is like, we survived early 2000s dieting. And I'm like, I feel like this was the case all throughout modern history,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like in the 20th century
Yeah.
and 21st century. Thin has always been the more valuable physique. And it's like really crazy to just this concept, which I feel like societally has only happened in the last like 50 years. This concept of like different ethnicities have different body shapes, like your mom being a Puerto Rican woman having an Asian man who has a completely different frame,
Yeah.
talking to her about her being fat, she has a different physique from like, say, an Asian woman.
Yeah. That was a funny. That's a whole other like can of worms. But he did it on purpose. Like he did it to like in a
Like
teasing
nag her.
way. But it obviously crossed the line where in hindsight, it's like that can't be good for the relationship if
Painful.
your partner's constantly telling you you're fat or you could lose. Like maybe I don't know if I'm exaggerating it, but he did comment on her body.
Yeah, maybe it didn't have to be every day, but you
Right,
have
yeah.
memories of this happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also just the women on television, they were all svelte and they looked a certain way. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think also like being in the entertainment industry, that's just so much more highlighted, comedy and, acting in shows, whatever the discipline is, like just being in entertainment.
Yeah.
You have to be so aware of the way that you look.
Yeah. Like right now I'm thinking about, I wonder how I look on camera.
Yeah, I know. I need to get like a little monitor just because, I'm so used to it at this point and I'm never satisfied with the way it looks. So I just let it roll.
No, it's good.
But
It's
yeah.
natural. There are times when I'll have like what I think is a nice outfit, and like I'll go to do a show and someone's recording it or I'll be recording it, and then like I'll look back on it and I'm like, damn, like that's not at all what I thought I looked like.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's a whole other it's a whole other skill set to like know what you look like on camera and like do all and like work out and your diet and your skin. It's just a lot of work.
It's everything. There's so much more mental fortitude that goes into even leaving the house or doing anything really. I feel like for women especially, like living with a man who can get up from the couch and within 2 minutes like throw on shoes and go somewhere after like his process of getting ready was like wash face, brush teeth, put on deodorant, put on shirt. Like that was the getting ready steps that took maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, okay, I have somewhere to be at 6:30. So the getting ready time should really start. Well, if I'm going to shower, I really should get in the shower at like 4. Am I going to wash my hair? It's just like so much more thought.
Then the makeup. I try to be like a dude a lot of the times. Like I won't wear makeup. I'll get up. I'll wash my face, I'll shower, and I'll, like, if I'm not going into the office or anything or doing stand up and like just hanging out in my neighborhood, like I'll just be natural and no one looks at me, no one bothers me, which is nice. But I noticed that if I put on a little lipstick, everyone's like, "Can I help you?
Oh my
Is there anything?"
God.
Yeah, and it's a reality.
Yeah.
And I try to deny it, like, no, I don't need this lipstick or I don't need mascara. But I do notice that when I put it, at least in my neighborhood, because I was thinking like if I go to like Harlem or like Washington Heights, I feel like natural beauty is probably more accepted. But for the most part, even at the office, like if I'm not wearing lipstick, it's like, are you sick? Or is
Yeah.
everything okay?
I noticed it at the office too, where like I feel like
It's bad.
people are a little bit hesitant to approach me if I go in without makeup because it's like, are you mad? And it's like, I'm not mad. I'm just like,
You must be mad.
I'm focused right now, and my focused face is not the cutest, and I have no makeup on, you know? So absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I recently heard you say on another podcast of yours about competition, like how sometimes you can get competitive.
Yeah.
I think that even if we want to not be competitive creatures, like people will make us competitive.
Oh yeah.
Like even if you're like, no, I'm like so happy for her success. I'm happy for her body, how she look. I'm happy for every single thing. They'll like start questioning, like, well, what are you doing? Or like people will literally start questioning how you compare to this person, and then that kind of puts it in your head, like, oh, I'm not doing enough. It's as much as even as you're like, I don't care, like, you know, one love.
I know, and like really, I feel like it always goes back to this, but the lie of social media is part of what makes it so difficult to not be competitive. But then it's what we were talking about. And I have to remember that picture being taken at that like awesome party, the picture just looks cool. Like maybe the party wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And that person posted it saying it was the best time ever, but like they could have been having an awful time and like everyone there was awkward and no one was conversating, you know, but the party I'm at that I didn't take photos at was great and fun, just not on Instagram. So yeah, the whole competitive thing is really hard because I think it is a natural thing. Like I did this comedy class intensive thing recently, and you know, you would spend 3 hours of your day at this comedy intensive. They'd kind of give you an assignment. You go home at night, do it, and come back with your jokes. And I found myself mentally counting the laughs that my jokes were getting because someone else was performing them.
Yeah.
So like I counted like mentally the jokes how many of my jokes got laughs compared to like everyone else in the class.
That sucks.
And it's just like, why am I psyching myself out right now? That's a cross that I've decided to bear. It's like, am I a masochist?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Awful.
That's so funny. I think it's natural, and I think you have to train yourself not to do that because you realize it's you're not going to win in that situation. Like it's not. I mean, unless you're committed to like feeling that, unless you're a competitive person, like are you like, I have to win at all costs? Because some people really like.
And I know people like that. I feel like if I wasn't so worried about disappointing myself, I might be a little bit more like that. But it's like a matter of protection to not be like, oh, I have to win, but like secretly inside, I really want to win.
Okay.
But I also need to be okay with not winning.
Okay. Sounds complex.
Yeah, but I think that could just be like the East Coasters in us. Like you're from Brooklyn, I'm from Jersey. It's just like, I feel like it's not a chill society.
Yeah.
You know, we're not laissez faring around. I don't think.
Right. It's in our, to go and like do your best. And
so I'm curious. So you mentioned that you lived in Puerto Rico with your grandma for 5 years. So what was that like leaving Brooklyn to go there? And did you have this feeling of like, oh, I'm missing out on what could be happening over in Brooklyn? Or
so I was born in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And I was raised in Puerto Rico for 5 years. So I was actually a baby.
Oh, you were a child. Okay.
Yeah. And I would travel back and forth from Brooklyn to, from Puerto Rico to Brooklyn. So my understanding was Puerto Rico was my home.
Right.
And Puerto Rico was fun. I mean, I was the first granddaughter, and my uncles and aunts were probably like teenagers. So I was like the baby, and like I would copy what the adults were doing, which is always cute when a little kid tries to emulate adults. So I was always the center of attention, lots of love, whatever I needed, whatever I wanted. Spoiled, basically. I was spoiled. And then my mom finally had her stability, I guess, financial stability. And she was with my Malaysian stepfather at the time. So she brought me over to Brooklyn, and I was about 5 or 6. And then I was lucky because in Park Slope, like everybody would hang out. Like we used to hang out on the stoop, and like the mothers would watch the kids would play on the street.
Yeah.
And they would watch us from the window, I guess. And it was a little lonely because I didn't have my aunts and my uncles anymore. And my mom just did not like pay attention to me at all, like not compared to my grandmother. Like my mom would be mean to me on purpose. And it was very like a mother, she treated me like a sister, like a little sister. So that was really, so I do feel sometimes like I do have two different things going on in me, because on one hand I know how to be spoiled and like I know what like love feels like, and on the other hand I also experience kind of like neglect and like emotional like neglect and like attention. So it's weird. So but then once I lived in Brooklyn, you kind of just I it was in my head I was not going back to Puerto Rico.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure I think the transition was okay because my aunt would come to visit me, and that made me feel like I was connected to Puerto Rico. But yeah, things changed.
Yeah.
Transitions.
Mm-hmm. Do you consider yourself, like, are you more of a social person?
I am both. I love the energy of like big groups and like learning, but I need a lot of solitude as well. Like I can go for like 3 or 4 days or 3 days without talking to anyone.
I'm the same, where like I'm like a social introvert. Like I don't know how my extrovert friends do it because I'm like, okay, I got my social function in for the week. Like I'm really good,
Yeah.
It's hard to be constantly social. I crave the solitude.
Yeah, it's a good balance. Like I do notice that like things like what they say, like things in motion stay in motion.
Absolutely.
Because like I'll go to this party and that get together and that meeting and it's just like, oh, let's keep this going, and then my body will be like, what are we doing? Stop.
Yeah.
But then once you stop, it's really nice. People will be like, you want to hang out? And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The object has stopped.
The object has stopped. Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, I'm curious. You talked a little bit about like the concept of when you were first introduced to this idea of dieting.
I want to say that in honor of this podcast, I wore a Spanx.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
I was like, am I fat podcast? Might be. So I'm wearing a Spanx.
I love Spanx.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, sorry,
No,
I didn't
no,
mean to cut you off. How we were just like discussing makeup. I like feel more confident when I'm wearing makeup. I feel more confident when I'm wearing Spanx. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's literally like snatching you up.
Yeah.
I don't wear them I don't wear them often. I probably wear them once every 5 months. So I don't really know, because like I'm pretty sure I have this on wrong. Like I think when I was I was on the subway, I felt like the thing crawling up my thigh, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh my God.
People will know.
Yeah. It's crazy because like my grandma wore Spanx every single day. Every single day.
God
and
bless.
it's just, that is just crazy amount of undergarments to be wearing. But that was society, like just being obsessed with
torture women.
Torture devices.
Yeah.
Literal torture devices.
I did a background acting for the West Side Story a few years back, and we had a dress from like the 1940s, I think it was, and we had to wear stockings, and then we had to wear a corset. Then it was like a corset. Then we had to wear a slip dress.
So many clothes.
Then we had to wear the actual dress that had like ribbons in it. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
This was, and then it was like 90 degrees out.
Yeah, 90 degrees, but that's literally what they did.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that was the summer wear. And then forget going to the bathroom.
Yeah. That probably explains why women were so ladylike, because you really couldn't move.
Very true. Yes.
You had to be very like,
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is why women aren't drinking anything, because
And
they can't go pee.
Yeah, and they're sitting like upright because it's like,
Yeah.
you have no choice.
No, I know. And you know what's so funny? It's like, I remember I was in college by the time I realized that wearing stockings or pantyhose whenever I wore dresses was weird.
When you
Like,
stopped or when you...
I was in college when I realized that people didn't regularly do that, that you
Oh.
could wear a dress and not wear
be free.
tights. Yeah. And I was just like, what do you mean you're not wearing, like, you have to have compression on your legs.
Like your life is like just blowing up before your eyes. Like, what is this new world?
Legitimately. And I felt kind of silly after. I was like, of course not everyone wears stockings under their skirt or whatever. So funny.
I guess that would be considered growing pains, no?
Oh, I've had a few.
Yeah.
I've had a few. Just like, you know, when you live in a bubble and then you go out into the world and you're like, oh, people are different, you know? I had one white mom and one white dad. I didn't have other cultures,
Yeah.
you know? Okay, yeah. So as you became an adult, what was sort of like your relationship with dieting? Were you a dieter or?
I remember like a good amount of time where, so when I was in high school, my lunch would be Sprite and Cheetos, like Cheez-Its. That was my lunch. And I was such a cranky, like my blood sugar, it wasn't until I got to college that I realized that when my blood sugar drops, that's why I was being so cranky and I would like lash out at, I was lashing out at people, and I didn't realize it's because it was my diet. Like what I was eating sugar and more sugar. It was bad. So that was, yeah.
That's so funny. Like, because by the time you're in high school, like my mom wasn't making me lunch. Like I was on my own. You had to figure it out. And like my lunch was very similar, where it was like, you know, a Powerade and a Power Bar, like really like just nothing lunches. Oh, and some French fries, of course.
Of course, the French fries. Oh, so comforting.
It's like I only had Cheetos and Sprite for lunch, and I didn't realize why I was lashing out. That's so funny.
And then the worst part was like, wait, what was the worst part?
Lashing out, going to college.
The lashing part. Yeah. Well, when I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology.
Oh, awesome.
And I took a stress relieving class, thinking that it was going to be like an easy class, and the instructor was basically just breaking my belief system down. He's like, "Do you know about factory farm? What is it? Factory farming?"
Yeah, factory farming.
Yeah, and he was like doing these experiments where he was like the lights are bad for you. He was stressing me out in this class, but to his credit, he was the one that taught us that if your blood sugar drops, that's why you lash out and get cranky. So his advice was to always have crackers in your pocket.
Oh.
Yeah, so that you don't bite someone's head off.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny because I'm noticing a conversation on TikTok a lot about blood sugar, but it's all about making sure it doesn't spike.
Oh,
you know, it's
okay.
like there's like little like monitors or things you can get on TikTok Shop. It's all just to sell us more crap. That's all. That's all diet culture is. And so the current like, you know, hot trendy thing on TikTok Shop is in relation to tracking your blood sugar. And if you're gonna obsess about blood sugar, you should do it in the way that teacher taught you, where it's like at its most basic form, you are not functioning your best when it drops. And I just love how diet culture right now is in a phase where it's having people be obsessed with it spiking. It's
Yeah.
like,
What happens if it spikes?
It just is like it can
Like, are you,
sugar will at the end of the day everything breaks down to sugar,
Yeah.
and so it's like you want to avoid ingesting things that are going to break down into more sugar, because then you can carry extra weight.
okay.
And also when your blood pressure spikes, there can be a crash after.
Oh yeah, the crashes.
Yeah, and like
Oh.
what will cause your blood pressure to spike and then have a subsequent crash is Sprite and Cheetos for lunch, not a bowl of strawberries as a midday snack.
Right.
You know?
Right, yeah.
But will a bowl of strawberries cause your blood pressure to spike? Absolutely. I'm no
Yeah.
nutritionist.
Yeah.
I only took a semester of it in college. but like, you know, it's just there's so much fear mongering in diet culture, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to just do my best, and I try to literally do my best.
Yeah.
I had gone to Prague with a friend, and all we did was eat sausage and beef and drink beer.
Oh,
And I remember being in the airport and just feeling sick, like just really ill.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back to New York, I was like, I need to change my diet. Like I know, like instinctually, I knew I needed to like change the way I moved. And I went to Barnes and Nobles. I don't even know if they still have those anymore. And there was a book it was like a black book, and it had a title of like, if you eat like shit, you will be shit. And it was like very in your face title. And I picked it up, and I really liked how it was in your face about like, well, what do you expect if you're eating like, you know,
Yeah,
Cheetos
like, hey,
and Sprite?
dummy. Yeah.
So I picked it up, and it really like empowered me to like be more mindful of like the meat that I was consuming, and just I stopped drinking milk. Like little by little, I started to like make better choices, I think, or I started to feel better, because I think once you know that something's bad for you and then you're consuming it, you really have to not care.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking, oh, this is so bad for me, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for us, because you're thinking it's bad for you.
Yeah. Also, it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the top of the show of having pain and ignoring it. I feel like I was in a place where I wasn't in this like intuitive eating kind of space, because what you're describing is intuitive eating. Ingesting something, how does it make me feel? Good, bad. If it's bad, I'll avoid it. And so when I was in a place of just like, let's say like having major stomach pains or stomach upset, but not realizing that it was because of excess dairy or something, I'm just like living in this pain. I'm ignoring my wrist pain. I'm ignoring my back pain.
Right.
When if you are mindful, because that's really all it is. It's just mindfulness. And it's like that's so funny. You were talking about that class that you took at FIT where the professor was like stressing you out, when it sounds like that's maybe what he was trying to illustrate, of like, if you eat factory farm meats, like you're putting junk into your body.
Yeah.
You know?
He did this really cool test where, like, I guess in office buildings, they have those white lights.
Yes.
So he did this test where he had someone take their hands out, and then he would put like a box of cigarettes in one person's hand. And then he would make them stand underneath the light. Then he would push their arm down, and the arm would go all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would put the person under the regular ceiling with no lights, and he would have them take their hands out, push it down. I'm making that so much more wordy than it needs to be. But the point was that we are stronger. Like the illustration was that we are stronger when we don't have chemicals around us. And he said that about McDonald's, which really broke my heart, because I loved McDonald's. And he said that about like soda. Yeah, all the things that I loved. He was just like, it's ruining you. It's not good for you.
So are you like fully, like you mentioned dairy, like, so is like, you know, are you somebody that is like completely abstinent when it comes to not having dairy or anything? Or will you dabble of like, it's 4th of July, I'm having a hot dog?
Well, I try to be disciplined and like But I realize like if you're traveling or
Yeah.
if there's like certain diners, they won't have oat milk or almond milk. They'll laugh at you. They'll be like, "Psst, whatever." So in those circumstances, I'll be like, I'll have the milk, and then just be like, don't think about it. So, but there was a period where I was very disciplined and really good about it. But I realized that it was becoming my personality.
Yeah.
Like if I would go to restaurants, I would be the one that's like, what's in this and what's in that, and that was not fun. So little by little, I learned to kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah.
But because it's especially hard if once you leave New York, I think, or New Jersey, because there's not a lot of options for
Yeah,
like
we're so spoiled.
10 different milks or 10
Mhm.
different types of dishes that are not meat or yeah.
I mean, even just like going to the Midwest and it's like, you guys don't have Uber Eats out here? Like,
Right,
You know? Like
yeah.
there's just like
We are
not having as
spoiled.
much access to food.
Yeah. Yeah, like we are spoiled. Like I was a vegetarian for like 9 months. And it's not funny, but, or maybe it is, but I remember going to my mom's house for the holiday and she was like, would you like some penne? And I'm like, Mom, that's like roast pork. She's like, yeah, you can eat it. I'm like, no, I'm a vegetarian. Oh, okay. And then she would like give me beans. She's like, you can have these. But then later it turned out she had made the beans with like pork skin.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
like,
was gonna say she probably made them in pork.
I'm like, thanks. Like I think she broke my fasting. My streak. It was my mom got to me after like 9 months.
Oh my god, that
Yeah.
literally is like my big fat Greek wedding when they're like, oh, we have all this meat, we have chicken and beef, and she's like, oh, he's vegetarian, and it's all quiet, and then her aunt goes, we have lamb. It's like that.
That was my mom. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I remember I was a vegetarian and I had gone to San Antonio and no, I was a vegan. I think I was a vegan where you can't have cheese or dairy.
There's no animal.
And I was in San Antonio and that was a wrap because everything was meat and cheese and I was like, all right, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really brokenhearted about it, but I did my best. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing that because I love food. Like that's another thing. Like I respect dieting. I respect healthy bodies, but I also love food.
Yeah.
Like I like going out to restaurants and like making up new dishes and just I find it comforting.
Yeah, it's comforting and it's a way of socializing. My friends and I always joked, my friends from college were like, the number one thing that we have in common is our just love for food. Like
Yeah.
we're not like entrees people. When we go out to eat, it's like order a bunch and we pick and we split the bill. Like
That's cool.
You know, it's like because we all like want to try new flavors and things. You know, it's 100% like
I love that.
that in and of itself is a love language.
Yeah.
Of sharing and breaking bread.
I've had good friends that don't like they eat food just for fuel.
Yeah.
And it's not fun going out with them to like a new city or a new state because they could care. Like I went to New Orleans for the first time
so good.
a few years back, and one of our friends just wanted to go to McDonald's. I'm like, there's McDonald's in New York.
Oh, that's sacrilege.
Yeah, and like she could care less, and I was like, who is this person?
Especially like I mean, you could say this about a lot of places, but a place like NOLA,
Yeah.
I mean, the food is unreal.
She wanted McDonald's.
Oh,
You know who you are.
man. Gumbo and po' boys and oh gosh,
Crawfish, yeah,
crawfish. My first ever crawfish boil that I went to was in NOLA.
that's nice.
It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, why the hell is it taking so long? And then I looked at the process and it's like, oh, because it's a vat the size of this table, maybe even bigger, of just like crawfish and potatoes and oh
so
my God, it was so effing good.
yeah,
Crazy.
It's good to it's nice when we have healthy relationships with food. I think that sometimes the environments that we're in doesn't support healthy eating. Like sometimes I'll be watching television late at night because I came from a show and I need to unwind.
Yep.
And then there's like an advertising for Burger King or Taco Bell, and I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Like, why are you advertising to me? Like, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
But then after I see the commercial, I'll be like, should I get Taco Bell? Like,
I swear I need to know what the Taco Bell advertisers are doing because I remember being like a kid, like
not quite a teenager yet, but a little bit older, like a preteen. And I remember seeing a Taco Bell commercial and thinking, there's something subliminal is happening here, because I have never wanted Taco Bell more in my life.
Wow.
After one commercial when I was 12.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. I get it though. And having everyone's relationship with food is very different, and it's really hard to like put my finger on like this is a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
But I know, going back to the comparing thing, is I remember a few months ago at this point, I went into Jersey because my friend had just had a baby, and two friends had just had a baby like a week apart. And so we all went over to one of their houses to like meet the babies. And, a husband ordered lunch for all of us, and we had all this food, and I was starving and I was eating. Like I ate a full plate of food, and I'm looking at, the other ladies around who weren't eating as much, maybe like a little bit less than me. And my immediate reaction was to like shame myself internally and feel bad about it. And then I was like, wait a second. I did a workout this morning, a hard ass workout. I haven't eaten since that workout. And I know that they, two of these people are new moms. They're not working out. I know my other friend doesn't. And so like I had to like my worth doesn't come down to if I can eat the least amount of food in a social setting. Mm-hmm. Even though I ate more food than the other ladies there, it doesn't mean I have a poor relationship with food. It's just, eating based on like what I've expended earlier on in the day. So it's all so hard to navigate and define.
And also like what's yours and what's like society's like voice. Yeah. Because my sister is she's a big girl. She's always been a big girl. Like when she was 2, she looked like she was 5, and when she was like I was like that too. Yeah. And so she doesn't eat more than I do. She eats about the same things that I do. She works out. She was like applied to be a fire person. Wow. And she was always like, she did the test twice, and she was like always like 15 seconds under, so they were like nope. Yeah. But she was still that like strong, and she eats well, but she looks like a big girl. And I was dating someone and we were in Rockaway Beach, and he saw like a big girl on the boardwalk. He's like, why is she wearing a bathing suit? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, she's too big to be wearing a bathing suit. I was like, that's her body. Yeah. He's like, but she should work out. I was like, how do you know she doesn't work out? And I was very defensive of this woman, because I know that my sister takes really good care of her body. She's just a big girl. That's just so I realized then that like how unfair it is that people. That's why I loved when Rihanna came out with Savage Fenty, like the lingerie for like bigger women, and she basically put them on a stage. And when Dove came out with the commercials for bigger women, because I'm like, yes, they exist. They have different body types, and they're healthy, and we need to see more of that. So,
Yeah, agreed. And, we are, and this is, I always feel like I need to qualify when I say this. I have no shade or ill will to anybody that is on a weight loss medication or a GLP-1. I think that's fantastic for other people. For someone like your sister who you're describing, it's like the only purpose of going on a GLP-1 would be to like try to lose this excess weight when she is already by all stretches of the imagination, based on like energy, like a fit person, right? Yeah. And I also think that there is so much more of an emphasis on thinness, on women especially being thin versus being strong. Yeah. And being able to like take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's messed up. I don't know. Yeah. Because I think the most important part is to feel healthy, Yeah. I want to lose some weight just because I have more options for clothing. Yep. And also I just feel literally lighter. Like I'm just like, I can just go in and out of places with smoothness. Like right now I do feel myself kind of struggling a bit. So I know I want to lose weight, but I hope that it's for me, but I'm pretty sure it's outside voices too. Like
It could be a mixture of
it could
both.
be a mixture. Yeah.
It's such a hard line to toe, because in anybody's quest to better themselves, like for me personally, it was, taking on this challenge of creating a workout routine for myself. I mean, I'm doing something that is going to, like, its kind of purpose is to cause me to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's so stupid to say all these therapy terms, but I had to decenter weight loss in order for me to maintain the routine I've created for myself as it relates to working out, because the benefits I get from having like a workout session in the morning, like 4 times a week, has made my life so much better in so many ways. And like the way I feel about my body, whether, it may not seem like it has changed a lot to the outside perspective. I mean, I just feel better.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's a really hard line to toe, because there were moments even now still where like I noticed myself like wanting to have a greater weight loss benefit, and I just have to be honest about that.
Yeah.
I'm but a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard, but
It is hard, but we'll figure it out.
yeah, figuring it out. I mean, it sounds like you yourself have had quite the journey of journey. That's another word. You've had quite
It is a journey.
yeah, quite
This
the
life.
journey of navigating being vegetarian.
A vegan for 3
a
days.
vegan for
That was all I could last.
It's hard. I could, no way. I could probably like, I mean, it's hard because we live in New York and we have the best food ever here, but I feel like I could maybe like on my day to day be a vegetarian, but the moment I'm traveling somewhere,
Yeah.
no way. I would immediately like lose it.
One thing that I've noticed though is like when you do eat clean, or when you are a vegetarian or vegan, like that really does take up a lot of your mental. Like you're trying to figure out what new dish you're gonna make, or to make it exciting, or where can you go eat. Where if you're just mindful of calories, I guess, or just food, like if you're not as careful, you could just enjoy food.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't have to take up so much brain space, which I think is like the number one reasons why it's so hard to diet, is because you get fatigued by the amount of brain space that it can take
Yeah.
up. And then that's when you get the fuck this mentality
right.
and diet starts tomorrow mentality. Look at Finn.
Oh, Fitz. Hi, we're fine. We're fine. We're good. He's like, all this talk about food. Are you
No,
gonna
literally.
feed me?
It's because we're like almost done, and he kind of like has an internal body clock of knowing when we've been sitting here for an
Aw.
hour. So he kind of starts to get a little bit.
He's like your little co-producer.
He really is.
He's like,
It's
wrap
crazy.
it up.
Like if he starts randomly I mean, aside from like some people coming in and out,
Hi.
if he starts randomly barking, I'm like, oh, it's been an hour, and I look and it'll be like an hour and 2 minutes. It's kind of crazy.
He really had the look of like,
No, he really is like putting it on
I'm
right
sorry,
now.
baby. I'm sorry. We were, this has been so much fun.
Sorry for the visual enjoyers of the podcast. Finn is just, he's not in frame, but he looks so cute. But you've seen him before. You know how cute he is.
Finnegan,
Follow him on Instagram, my cousin Finny.
come up here.
Come on, you want to come up? No, we're gonna pretend that we can't
No?
get up on the couch
Can't
anymore.
get up on the couch? Oh,
Yeah, that's like the
Finnegan.
new thing he decides to
I
do.
thought you were stronger. What am I doing? What
yeah,
am I doing?
you're
Am I
negging
gaslit-
my dog.
I'm so sorry. Come on, Finnegan.
Yeah. Oh, he's so happy. Well, I mean, we are coming to a close here, and so I would love to ask if there's anything else that you wanted to chat about or anything. I mean, I've really enjoyed our conversation. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
It's been good. It's been therapeutic.
I'm glad. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, me too. This was fun. No, I think I don't. Nothing comes to mind.
Good.
Except for maybe, I don't know. Actually, nothing.
I get it. I totally
There's
get
a lot
it.
happening in the news, and I'm like, oh, but no.
I know.
These are like wormholes. Like once you open them, it's like, whoa,
Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing. I mean, again, not to like go into a whole tangential conversation, but I mean, we talk about outside factors and how it can impact us. Being stressed about the state of the world, it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get Taco Bell because like I need to self-soothe.
Yeah.
You know, which is just like a very, again, privileged thing, but like still.
No, it's true. I have been in the last 3 months, I've been eating for comfort, and I've been acknowledging like I'm eating for comfort. And so my challenge right now is just to stop when I'm just stop. Like I eat till I'm full, and I've read many times that you should eat until it's recommended that you eat until you're 80% full,
Yeah.
and leave some space. And I try that, and I'm gonna succeed. But right now, I'm noticing that my plates are really big, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like what's up with that? So I need to like cut. I need smaller portions.
Yeah.
Because I think, and then it's because of it's just comforting. Like, you know, like I don't know what's happening in the economy, or there's too much happening in the economy, but I know what's happening on this plate.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, even just the concept of like, because I have heard that too, the 80% thing. And now I feel more comfortable with that. But there was a time in my life where I could not tell you what 80% fullness feels like, because my hunger cues were either starved, I'm going to die right now if I don't eat, or like so full I can't even stand to be in my own skin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people operate on that frequency, especially if you're in the yo-yo dieting kind of roller coaster.
I try not to eat. Yeah, I've had that in the past where I'll go to a restaurant and they give you like big portions, and then you kind of want to be a good girl and eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then afterwards you're like, why did I have the dessert? There was no reason for the dessert. But then I beat myself up and I'm like, that's not worth it for me.
No.
So I now know to be like, no, I'm good without the dessert, or I'll skip the appetizer just to have the entree.
Right. And like the berating myself, the making me feel bad about myself will cause me to order the dessert every single time. But if I just accept the fact that I had this dessert and this is how I feel, I swear, maybe not every single time, but it's like practicing anything. I go into that meal being like, no, I'm not going to order the garlic bread here because it makes me feel really full before I even get to my entree, and I really want to enjoy my entree. It's just literally what you just said.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
making those choices. But, you know, yeah.
But without feeling like you're restricting. It's like, I'm literally just doing this because
It's my choice.
it's my choice and I want to feel good. I want to walk out of here and like not feel like I have to unbuckle a pant.
Yeah, because some
Button.
waiters and waitresses will be like, "Would you like?" They'll just try to put like the most professional waiters and waitress will like push food on you, but you don't realize that they're pushing food on you.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Very
so-
tactful in the way that they offer you. You know,
why don't you try both entrees?
No,
And it's like, that's actually a great idea.
Joe and I went to brunch on Sunday or Saturday, whatever day it was, and Joe wanted to get the breakfast tots, whatever the breakfast tots is, you know, hash browns and whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever, get it. The server, the waitress comes over and we'll take the breakfast tots. Great. You want bacon with that? And just immediately, like literally what you just described. It's just like, and it was just, we both were like, sure. Like we didn't even think
That's
about
a
it. We
good
didn't ask, is
waitress.
it
Yeah.
extra? Of course it's extra. We didn't ask if it was extra. We're just like, oh yeah, that sounds good. But like, she's good at what she does.
Yeah, that bitch.
I know. Get your bag. Oh my God. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming over. I hope you had fun. I had a wonderful
did.
time.
Thank you for this.
Our conversation was so lovely. I would love if you could let the people know where to find you.
People, please find me on Instagram at Danette Comedy, or on YouTube at Danette Rodriguez.
Amazing. Yes. And I don't know when the thing will be out that we did background work together in, but
Oh yeah, that was fun.
that was fun.
It was.
That was
We
fun.
were cutting it close towards the end, but
I know.
yeah.
I know. I mean, that is the day in the life of a background person is just hurry up and wait. Hurry
Yeah.
up and wait.
It's
Kinda
on
drives you
Tubi,
crazy.
right? Tubi.
Tubi, something on some true crime show on Tubi. Woo. Amazing. All right. Everywhere will be that you can find us will be in the description of the show notes. And until next Friday, we'll talk to you. Bye.